Hey everybody, it's your boy Nerdarcane back at it again. I'm going to try to do some daily content, which means I got to work a little ahead for the days where I don't get to record. That way I can have something to release. But speaking of release, Gail Simone has been released from her cage again. She has breached the surface of Twitter to castigate someone once again for basically being adjacent to a mildly salty internet meme. Okay, so all of this was started by, and I can't remember the guy's name, but he basically posted a picture of Gail and photoshopped a bucket of fish being held in front of her and came up with the fake headline that she had been kicked out of SeaWorld for basically stealing the fish that they feed the dolphins. And it was kind of funny. It was very juvenile, but it was light roasting. It wasn't that spicy or anything. I mean, if Gail's going to get all up in arms about this, I would love to introduce her to 4chan. I think that would be she would enjoy that. She would love that. So that was posted, and as juvenile as it was, it just kind of somehow, I'm not sure how Mike Barron got kind of pulled into the thread, which caused Gail to completely explode. Suddenly another professional was mildly adjacent to something that wasn't just glowing praise of her work. So now she's targeting Mike Barron. So here's the wiki. Here's the beginning of the wiki of who Mike Barron is. He is best known for, I guess in mainstream comics, he wrote Punisher for a long time. Basically wrote the defining book that he had about a 50 to 55 issue run on the Punisher, which it's kind of the opposite of the industry today. Whereas, you know, perfect example, Gail Simone's Domino book was supposed to be a series, but due to low sales, and I'll get into that a little later, due to low sales, they're like, oh, it was a mini-series all along. Well, the Punisher book that Mike Barron did was pretty much the opposite, because the Punisher was just this weird kind of anti-hero character, and I believe that series was meant to just be a mini-series. It went from mini to series because it caught on so well, and Mike Barron wrote it so well, and he wrote it for a very long time. And this was in the age of meritocracy at Marvel. This was Jim Shooter. This was Tom DeFalco era. This was like, you don't sell, your book's getting cut. We'll try you out on something else, but if you can't cut the mustard, you're going to be out the door. So it was a very different time of Marvel. When you had to put up or shut up, he just took this kind of strange character and just went on a long run, a run that outlasted him. He moved on to other things. He wanted to go do Nexus, and Nexus is also really good as well. You should check that out. But here's a little example of the things that you'll see from a Mike Barron from his Twitter feed, like this right here, this writing advice. I know, right? What a monster. God, he's a monster. Let's ban him from all social media. So as you can imagine, she went on like it was probably 3 to 4 hour screed about this, and I'm not really going to go into it because it's not even new. If you just look at the post, it begins with the same old, that I believe comics are for everyone except for conservatives and blah blah blah. There's no place for transphobes and homophobes and racists and sexists. Yeah, there isn't in Comicsgate either. That's why we kicked Vox Day to the curb. But the funniest part comes at the end where she says something like, Mags is a better writer than all of these, than the Brightwisers. Then, look, you can go to IndieCron and you can look at the success of that. I don't think Mags has sold a book that's printed more than 5,000 in probably not this entire year. Depends on when that, I think that Dazzler book was 2008, but that's, once again, established character, Marvel Comics, big glad-handing press. I read that book and I did a review of that book. It wasn't very good. But, Gail, if you think she's so great, You're a bigwig with Lionforge. Why don't you throw some work Mags's way? Are you? Let's put your, no, it's not even your money. Let's put the stockholders' money where your mouth is, regarding Mags Visaggio's skill as a writer. And just pray that they never look at Indicron, because they would look at any of these original IPs, these creatives on Indicron, and go, wow, we would really like to have some of that energy at Lionforge. But you just keep going on with that whole thing that Mags is better than every Comicsgate creator. And the Comicsgate creators will just keep counting the money. She then goes on to talk about how Comicsgate is neither clever nor creative. I got news for you, Gail. Let's go over some numbers, okay? Your Domino series, which was just recently canceled. I read it. I read quite a bit of it. It's definitely not creative. You basically wrote generic hero woman person, and the artist then had to draw Domino in there. So you took a beloved character, you basically threw out everything established by her, and you just made her like, you basically wrote her as, it seems like you took a script, a Harlequin script, and you just put Domino in there and just ran with it. But here's the proof that you suck, that you're that nobody's really interested in this. Domino #1 comes out, a lot of glad-handing press, a lot of big push on it, a lot of I guarantee overships. First one sends out 89,109. That is really impressive. And then the next month came around, Domino #2. Here's the numbers: 26,343. That is a drop of over 60,000. That is insane. Issue 2 from issue 1 has about, you did about a fourth. You did about a quarter of what issue 1 did. So once again, Marvel overships could not save you. And then it's sort of, 25,200, 23,900, 23,000, 21, 21, 21. I guess at the end of this, when it finally, the run wraps up, I guess it's probably going to be about 17,000. That's you. You're not the big draw. You're not the page turner, okay? And the evidence is here. If you want more evidence, let's go over to the DC side. You did a Plastic Man run. Plastic Man #1 debuted 31,997. Not that impressive, but okay, I guess, for Gail Simone. Issue 2, you had an 11,000 issue drop off. You went to 20,000, and then it just stalled. So there's no gradual slide down, as a lot of comic books have. #1s are a #1. There's a big push. There's I guess some sort of speculation about it, although there shouldn't be anymore in the industry. So a #1 issue is big. It's got big sales, and then they tend to slide down slowly. You don't, Gail. You go from big premiere to, these are the numbers it's going to end at. You go from 89,109 to about mid 20,000. That's a huge drop off. That shows that aside from, the hip hip hooray, Gail Simone #1, you don't have a whole lot of staying power in the industry. And here, I'll lay this run out for you. Look at that. That is a 6-year run on Punisher, and with other stories as well. 6 years in the most put up or shut up era of Marvel Comics, where Marvel Comics right now, with an established character, you can't get 6 months out of that. That's, say, Gail, my advice, and I know you won't take it, but my advice, put down the phone, step away from the internet, focus yourself, and write a good comic, because you can write a good comic. I've seen you write good comics. Your Wonder Woman Conan was actually pretty good from earlier in this year. Step away, stop worrying about who's aligned with who, and start worrying about your alignment with the success of a book, okay? And once again, I'll add another thing. You say that these indie creators of Comicsgate aren't very creative. They're having success with original IPs, whereas you couldn't take Domino, who is very well loved, was just featured in a movie, a major motion picture that did very well, and you couldn't get 25 issues out of that. You had this run that was a series that they were like, oh, it was a mini series. Okay, so just laying that out there. If the measure of success is that, then the indies over at Comicsgate have gone far beyond anything you've done in a very long time. So, yeah, go clean your own house, Gail, okay? Stop worrying about what Mike Barron's doing. Stop worrying about what other people are doing. Worry about yourself, okay? That's all I got for this one. I'm Nerdicated. Thank you. Tomorrow is New Comic Book Day. Go out, find something you like and you love. Have a good day.